So went out to Nepal. This is just to give you an example of the kind of conditions we were working in. We ended up doing 6 different women's sessions, so 6 different groups of women, ranging from like women with their daughters, young girls themselves, kind of teenagers, and then like older women. We literally had a mix of kind of whoever was around, which was really great. And yeah, so the kind of structure we took, what was really, really helpful, and I think definitely kind of helped us embed the project a bit better, was working with ActionAid Nepal. They have a really, really great structure. So we arrived into Kathmandu and met Nisha, who is kind of the national representative for ActionAid. We then travelled out to Chitwan, which is kind of a more rural area. There's still a city there. And we met Sajina, who's like the regional representative. And then we kind of travelled out each day from Chitwan, like 2-3 hours, sometimes 4 hours, into the kind of more rural parts where you have communities who are really living in isolation and don't have access to, say, disposable sanitary pads, things like that. And what was great was when we did these women's sessions that there was actual social mobilisers. So they're people that work for Nepal who are trusted members of community who go to, let's say, the ActionAid headquarters, find out the kind of projects they're working on, and they bring them back and they introduce them to the community. So what was really helpful was, like, in our introductions, we were coming in with people who were already kind of valued in the community and were known to kind of bring about really useful and positive change. So what was lovely was, like, in the introductions, we got kind of, you know, blessings and sometimes gifts, and it was really lovely and very warm and accepting. If you've ever been to Nepal, you would know that they are absolutely lovely people. But I think what was really useful was the kind of way we went about doing this. So we opened up or started each session with like problem sharing. So instead of diving in and saying, oh, look at us, how great we are, look what we've done, we kind of just did the same that we did with the user testing groups that we had. And we just said like, what do you experience? What do you feel about it? And like, it was always like, there's different receptions to that. Like in this case, she just jumped straight in, that woman, and she was just talking, and then everyone was kind of agreeing with her, and she really broke the tension, and all of a sudden the whole like group was talking. Whereas with some of the younger girls, maybe they didn't talk as much, or else they were all talking. And so like, it was different. Like each time you kind of just had to adapt to the reaction you were getting from people, and you'd have to know like when to push and when to take a step back. So then we gave them like a really quick kind of explanation, just like, this is what we've done, this is what we think. But I think what was really useful is like, we never considered this, like the toolkit or the kind of holistic service, as ours. Like our goal is to kind of be redundant, or to, you know, hand it over to other people, or it be self-sufficient. So we kind of just came with the bare bones, and we're like, these are the ones that we've tried, this is what the way we've done it, this is how we've sewed. And then we actually just kind of got straight into them doing it themselves. And in Nepal, they are unbelievable at sewing. But I think it just maybe had never occurred to them that we could be sewing things that we could be using during our period, because like when we did it, they were out sewing us completely, and they were finding better ways to do it. And I think that was something that we really like. It was really nice to see, because it was something we had hoped that it would be like a sharing of power, and kind of sharing like an exchange of knowledge. And actually they did just take it and run with it, which is kind of what we had hoped. And yeah, so what was really good as well is like, obviously language barrier is going to be an issue, and we were kind of worried about that as well, especially with the topic where you're kind of like, oh, it's already a bit sensitive, we're not sure what's going to happen. But I think actually like learning by doing really broke down a lot of the kind of barriers that came with language, because it wasn't so much about me saying, this is how you do it, it was me saying, yeah, that looks great, like, oh, or like, this is the one I did. And yeah, it was just kind of, it made it a lot more fun and stuff, I guess.